Welcome to Ed Fluential Sports, where passion meets precision. As I'm your host, Ed, diving deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. And today I got a special guest with me. I got Kate Quick. What's going on?
Much love, much love. Shouts out to everybody. Pleasure to be on your channel today, Ed. Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
All right, and this video is actually a part of a series I do. It's called Uphunt, and it's where I fantasy book a Pacific wrestler to win a championship. And this is the first time I'm really guest on. Had to get somebody that know their stuff about TNA. So, in your opinion, who would you like to see in 2026 be the TNA World Champion?
A few people actually, because to be truthfully honest, ever since Roman Reigns, I've kind of gotten away from the incredibly long title reigns. You know what I mean? I personally feel like coming from the Attitude Era, and all that good stuff, even the Ruthless Aggression Era, where and my bad, that's my grandfather clock here. But coming from that era, I'm used to seeing the title. Even though there were long reigns here and there, and so on and so forth. You had your reigns like when JBL was champion. It felt like he was champion forever for a minute. But titles frequently switched. Even if it was like somebody would have like a long reign was 6 months at one point. You know what I mean? And the title would change at least 3 times and so on and so forth. So if we were to bring back that method of crowning people as champion, there's several people. Of course, I've always rallied for ever since he went over there. I've always been rallying for Nick Nemeth because especially when he was in WWE, I personally think they didn't, even though he was a multiple time world champion, Grand Slam champion, if you would. I think was he? I think so. I still think as far as booking and making him look, strong and competitive, they could have done a better job at that. And he's been having a heck of a run over there in TNA. And, I would love to see him be champion again. And then also, I'm always going to rally for Moose. Moose has always been one of my favorites. Even like, of course, the bangers he had with Bobby Lashley years back has been some of my personal favorite matches over there that he's been involved in. And for real, and this one is also kind of a selfish one too, because in my mind, I kind of have this idea of Matt Hardy being TNA champion while simultaneously Jeff is X Division champion, and they're both the tag team champions still. Like they literally go on, even if it's like not a long run, like I said, like with the top titles, like they have like a stint in TNA where they kind of are carriers of all the major hardware. Like I have like those are the ideas that I have running around in my mind right now, especially the Hardys one, since they're kind of like in the third like we'll say like the second half of their career. They're more so in the second half, the back end of their career, and they're still going. They both said they feel fantastic. They're going like for as long until they can't go no more. I can really see, especially with them being tag team of the year, with all the momentum they have. They literally at one point in time this year held like 8 tag team titles in like multiple different companies and all. So I think personally, optically, it would look very, very cool, and it would really be an epic sight to see them with those titles. Specifically, I would like to see Matt Hardy with the world title and Jeff with the X Division title. I personally, I like it. I would like to see it that way because I ain't gonna front no. I kind of have I have a a good place with Matt Hardy, because granted, and forgive me if I'm drawing out, I'll land this plane here, but of course, historically, even Matt will say this. Historically, Jeff has been the popular one because he's the daredevil. You know, he'll climb the Empire State Building and do a swanton off of that joint. But you know, but in the long run, I can see Matt having a more respected legacy, because when it comes to reinventing himself, marketing, branding, you know, just keeping his character fresh, his ideas and like his all around, and he ain't no slouch when it comes to that high flying things. Now he changed, granted he changed his style over the years. He's a great mat wrestler, but to me he's always had one of the cleanest moonsaults I've ever seen. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's he at the when it's all said and done, I feel like when you break down everything they've contributed, we all know the popularity leans on Jeff's side, but when you literally list a lot of things that's being contributed, people are going to put a lot of respect on Matt Hardy. For real, for real.
That's a good one. I ain't even think like the Nick Nemeth and Moose. I could see that. I ain't even think about Matt Hardy winning it, and he's still a good talker too. So that wouldn't be too
Very.
bad.
He's a very good talker. Definitely, definitely. And like I said, it's kind of like I look at, even if we were to, for those of y'all who are avid WWE fans, you know, I look at the X Division title how WWE looks at their Intercontinental title. That's like the one, the world title. That's like the 1 and 2. You know what I mean? So if both of the Hardys had those titles, they literally, plus the tag titles, they are literally on top of the world. You know what I mean? So I, in my mind, as like a Hardys fan, because they're my personal favorite tag team. I'll say they're my personal favorite. That would be an amazing sight. And there's not a lot of wrestling fans that would object to, you know, that kind of booking if that would happen. You know, even if it doesn't happen now, even if it's, because granted, it's got to build up, it's got to make sense. You know, so it's gotta make sense. But if that plane lands on that, man, a lot people would be happy about that, you know, and it would definitely just put more of a stamp on them being one of the greatest tag teams, if not the greatest of all time, just from the optics of that alone.
Okay. Yeah, I ain't even think about that. But I'm gonna throw this at you. I kind of have for a guy that left WWE and kind of got buried on commentary by Michael Cole, Flop Dollar, aka AJ Francis. I think this is
I was thinking about him too. I gotta hear this. Talk to me, man.
So
That's my man.
In the current world title picture, you got Frankie Kazarian. He got the title, and Mike Santana got his match, and Nick Nemeth he's still in that picture. So, but before we get to him facing one of them, I think his first he got a match with Rich Swann coming up. He needs to dominate him. I don't care about it. Let the heel get. Yeah. But my half after that, he got a short feud with the hometown man, which is AKA Cody Deaner. Then he revealed his true identity, and that way he'll get even more heel heat because the fans they're loving this new character that Cody Deaner been doing. So that's how you establish him with more heel heat, by him revealing his real identity. Then you have a feud with Steve Macklin. Steve Macklin, they get into an accidental car accident and storyline. You do that, they feud for a bit. AJ Francis come out on top. And then before he gets the world title scene, as we building up to it, he feud with the Rascals because it's 4 of them now. And he run the gauntlet, take out all 4 Rascals. It's going to be a selfish challenge because he got to go through all of them one-on-one. Then once that's concluded, you can have him feud with Nick Nemeth, Frankie Kazarian, and Mike Santana. Then whoever is the champion out of the 3 at that time, he could beat them around Final Resolution in December to finally become world champion.
That's a very good build-up, and I'm definitely not opposed to AJ Francis being the world champion, because that's my guy. That's another one who I feel was poorly utilized. You know, because if you noticed, a lot of the guys who were underutilized, because Swerve is a dang superstar. People have him in one of the top wrestlers of this era right now because of what he's doing over in AEW. I really think AJ, if they push him correctly, just like literally how you said, he can be um one of the best big men of this generation here. Like, because right now they use, of course, he's a great heel. He's always been a great heel. But they use him kind of like he's funny too. They use him on the comedy side. But if they took the comedy out for a second and just turn him into a monster, and I know he can do that. He already has the size. He's already intimidating. He's imposing. He can throw people around like beanie babies. If they just go on a long stretch, like if they do something not so much similar, but in the essence of how Mark Henry did the Hall of Pain, kind of how because the way they book Mark Henry, but as soon as Mark Henry was 100% serious, all gas, no brakes, he became the world champion twice. You know what I mean? He was a main eventer, and I really do think that AJ Francis can definitely do that, especially if they do pretty much a storyline up similar to what I would not be opposed to that. I would like to see that, actually.
And even with AJ Francis, we've seen, like, even though it's comedy, like some of the moments, it's like when Casey Navarro, when he was injured, he was like, "You tore your ACL, so what?" Like, that's funny. Like, it's so disrespectful. That's what makes it funny. Like, I don't care if you help me.
Yeah, he's very good. He can definitely. That's probably one of his gifts. He's very, very good at making it easy to dislike him. He's very good. He's very good at that. But at the same time, it's hard for me to dislike him because I like that he's an authentic heel. It doesn't even seem forced. It seems like that's literally part of his personality, which I do like. He's an authentic wrestling heel. And if they literally just turn that aggression on 1,000, it's money. I already know it'll definitely work. It'll definitely work.
And he's already been able to showcase he can work with different wrestlers. Like, he's had matches he did stuff with BDE, who just got signed recently. Shout out to him. He did stuff with Leon Slater and Moose, who are two different archetypes of wrestlers. So it's like I do believe he can do anything. So they obviously I'm gonna play into the story if he win it, but as a person, I'd just be happy for him to get that moment if it's possible.
Yeah, and he can move. He's a big guy who can really, really move. Like, aside from the little over the top rope little mistake he made in WWE. I mean, small guys have made that mistake. We won't get into that, but I've seen him in TNA. Like, in TNA, he unlocked a different monster. That's when I personally see. If he's done it before, I must have missed it. But that's when I appreciated how well the guy can move. He did second rope moonsaults and all this stuff. Like, he can literally, you can put him in there with a Leon Slater and he can move with him. He'll keep up with him. And literally, like you said, he can literally work with pretty much any kind of wrestler and make it look good, and once he gets the chance to really, really show what he can do, like in the main event picture, I really think people are going to really look at him different.
Ironically, about that botch that he actually turned that into one of his moves. He do like a running knee, then he go over the top rope. Like, that's super dope to see that. He turned so it's like,
and I love that.
Michael Cole tried to bury him, but he didn't let that stop him. So
no, and that's good. You gotta know how to turn. And granted, that's one of the things, because let's be honest, for a minute, that was his biggest moment, like the botch, if you will, or the mistake. But the fact that he was able to flip that and turn that into something that can profit him and benefit him. I mean, that just shows how well he can adapt. That shows how smart he is. That shows how he can take anything and actually get it over and turn it into a positive. So it takes a real pro to do that, and you know what I mean. So
yeah, and it's like everybody botch. Like I'm not too hard on botches unless it's like a consistent thing. Like Kyrie saying she had a problem with it. She didn't fit. It hasn't been as bad now, so it's like I don't say too much about Kyrie saying anymore. Like it's really only a problem if it's consistent botches.
I mean, they give Tungaloa hell.
It's the
They give that man hell. There's like whole highlight reels of just botches from him, bro. like,
I don't know
like
about.
over in Japan.
I don't
Like
know.
I think
He might just.
Did you see when he tried? Did you see when he tried to hit the 619 that one time?
Yeah.
Man, I'm like, why did he try that?
But no.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, people botch, I think. But at the end of the day, if it's not consistent, I don't think it'll be a big issue.
Yeah. I mean, people gotta realize this though, man. These are athletes and stunt people who literally have to do these things on the spot, and they have to get things right the first time. Like even in the movies where you have these same types of trained athletes and stunt people, they can do multiple takes until they get it right. And even then, when they get it right and they do it again and again and again, in post-production, they go through the footage and pick what they feel is the best one. In wrestling, you got one time.
Yeah.
Anything could happen out there. And anybody could, and in that mistake, that person can get hurt. God forbid. Nobody wants to see anybody get hurt. But this is really not that easy to do. I know I'm not gonna try to do no run off the ropes and jump over the top. I know I'm not. It's not gonna look good. I'll be the next person as a meme if that happens. I know I damn sure am not trained to do that. So, like, how hard can you be on a person? Like, because at the end of the day, a wrestler can say, "All right, you do it."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I ain't gonna do it.
But yeah, I'm gonna get ready to close it with this. The last thing, how successful do you think TNA will be now with the new TV deal that's starting this week?
I think they're going to be extremely successful because I know when I started watching TNA way back when it was on TV. I think they were on TNT at one point. They were on a couple channels until they moved to the channel they were on before. That's like very, very hard to find. So they basically moved.
Access TV.
It's very hard to find that channel. So they have the app where you can watch it there. But me, on the other hand, I always caught up with everything on YouTube myself. So but now that it's on, they got this new TV deal. I will actually myself be watching it live as it's on TV. And it's great because now the general public, the casual wrestling fans can stumble upon it. It's in AMC is a regular channel. It comes with all the basic channels and all that good stuff. So being that it's now easily accessible and easily attainable, it's going to allow the casual wrestling audience to now digest it. It's only going to create more opportunities, get more eyes on it. The crowds are going to just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, like it was back then when it was a direct competitor to the WWE. I think it's only gonna help the brand. And for one, now what I'm thinking, hopefully this partnership with WWE is gonna turn this franchise around, because now they also have a larger viewing platform to offer as well. Hopefully it turns them around, because I personally think TNA has been getting the back end of this deal. I feel like some of those NXT titles need to go over there. So they need to fix that, because, like, for real, I personally still don't think there is no logical reason a powerhouse like Moose should be losing clean to Ethan Page, personally. You know, so but that's a whole different rant. So, but I think it's going to be nothing but good for TNA as a whole.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see this new era. I think last year I said AEW was the best promotion, and TNA was second in my opinion. I think TNA got a chance to, if they do this right, they could surpass AEW and be the #1 promotion by the end of the year. Yeah, AMC is a funny channel though, because I remember watching The Walking Dead on there. It's a funny channel.
It is.
Congratulations to them though.
Yeah, but since you said that, but like it's great because it's great to have 3 heads now. Now you got options on what to watch, and now for those of you all who have Netflix, being that Peacock's contract has ended, the archive is slowly moving. The WWE's archive is slowly moving over to Netflix now, so that's eyes looking up. That's everything looking up there. So maybe if the more and more momentum they get, even though they're in the partnership, even though they're in partnership, maybe it's in WWE's best benefit to be a partnership, because now once TNA starts getting a bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger machine behind them, you can't be in competition with somebody you work with. So you know what I'm saying? So if anything, they're covering their behind like, hey, you can't be, if we're working together, we can't compete. So now that just leaves TNA, AEW and Ring of Honor to go against them, and so on and so forth. And Ring of Honor been doing hella good too. But all in all, I can't wait to see what happens, man. Can't wait to see what happens.
Yep. With that being said, make sure y'all leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, share for others to see, comment on the video as well. K Quick,
yes,
got anything to say before we end it?
Yes, indeed. You know it is. IamKQuick.com. Follow me at The Real K Quick. That's on IG. That's on X, Facebook, or the whole 9 yards. Get that new EP. Follow The Trail Volume 1 on all platforms. It's Universal Music Group, Bungalow Records, Beats, Bars, and Faith, ENT. Shouts out to my guy, Ed, for allowing me to grace his platform. It's always good indulging in these conversations with the family and all that. Shouts out to the rest of the family, Black Couch Booking, everybody over there. Make sure y'all subscribe to my guy. Make sure y'all leave a like, comment. Y'all know the vibes, and make sure y'all stay tapped in on his channel. He's doing great things here.